Pound.
In a world,
Shut the hell up.
where Carolina Panthers fans
Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
have an insatiable thirst
I need to see a lot more of that shit going forward.
for Panthers news and opinions.
All my C3 brethren from the C3 Legion.
Only one podcast roars ferociously.
The longest running Panthers podcast on the internet.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, Greg, I owe y'all $100, man.
The draft is right around the corner. I mean, it is pretty dang soon. What, the end of the month, guys? Man, it's almost here. And all roads are pointing towards defense. But you never know. The Carolina Panthers could be involved in a trade for all we know. And did you know that basketball players like to play football sometimes? You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. My name's Tony Dunn. That's Cody Lack. My wheelman. How are you, my friend?
Tony Dunn, happy to have you back, man. Hope
Yeah,
you
man.
enjoyed your Tuesday off, man. But listen, I know, CK knows. There is nowhere we would rather be on a Tuesday night than sitting here on the C3 Panthers podcast talking Panther football, baby. We have had more official 30 visits. The Panthers are looking for a new edge, Tony. You can tell. Tonight we're going to explore some trade scenarios. Like you mentioned, talk about basketball players playing tight end. Oh, dude, we are going to have a wonderful show, but we're going to do it with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You know them and love them. It's the brand ambassador, Diesel Skills, Charlotte Sports One, Forest City Kitty, Final Boss, Harvey London, Ruan, VR the Hope Diller, Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Dance around on that thumbs up button. Subscribe. Consider being a C3 super fan. We are still alive in this offseason, and things are going to get pumped this year. Be here now, because later, when this season be popping off, it's going to be a wild time. Great to hang out with my buddy CK. How are you, my friend?
Man, I'm just I'm happy to be here again for another Tuesday night talking about the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the draft. I think that's really the primary focus of the next coming weeks, if you will. But it's going to be interesting, man. I some interesting mock drafts that we'll talk about. Going to make some people really upset and some people really happy. So it's going to be interesting to see how people react to what they think we're going to be doing at 8 in this draft. But Cody's going to obviously talk about the idea of trading back and how a lot of people are probably going to be excited about that. So it's going to be an interesting conversation no matter what, even if we feel like there's nothing to talk about.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for enduring over the last couple months as my studio is missing in action. Don't worry. Going to be in the process of selling my home, hopefully. Please pray for that it goes through, and purchasing a new one so that then the studio is back in effect. So the lighting will be better. My voice will be sexier. It'll sound like CK's in a way, right? I want to start off with a question, though, before we get into the show. Is the draft an overrated sporting event?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. In fact,
Is it a sporting event, actually?
in all of sports, it is probably the most popular sporting related non-sporting event that you can go to, dude. They will fill out an entire fucking street filled with people to go see who their favorite team is gonna draft. There is no other draft in all of sports that even comes close to the NFL. I hate it when people bring up the lottery. Oh, the lottery would be so
Oh,
much
it's awful.
better and more fair. It's so
Awful.
fucking dumb. No, the draft is awesome, Tony, and you know I love it.
It's the best draft out of the drafts, that's for sure. CK, is the draft an overrated sporting event or a sporting event at all?
Yes and no. It certainly doesn't warrant the type of hype I think that it gets, just because it is. I mean, I kind of understand it's the hopes and dreams of the of a team. It's the difference between them being a success and a failure and what have you. But I don't think that it's necessarily the same. I don't know, man. It does feel sometimes like it's a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
For me, it's not an overrated event. What it is the buildup to it is crappy. You know what I mean? Not crappy. It's like, I love the actual draft. Like the draft night, the seeing the families, looking at the girlfriends going, you ain't going to be that girlfriend for very long, right? That type of thing. I like the draft itself and draft weekend.
Girlfriend.
Of this build up and the speculation that goes around it. And again, I have a history with that. But the Carolina Panthers are drafted number 8 overall. And we'll be getting into the possibilities. Right now, the Panthers put their first, it said mock draft, but then they just copied and pasted all the people that are talking about the draft. They didn't even write their own thing. I guess that because it's
a roundup.
Yeah.
Trying to see what all the people in media are saying and who they're slotting in Carolina.
I can't tell you something that bugs me more than mock draft 22.222, where it's just like, oh, I got on the internet and I mock drafted again. Let's talk about it. It's just a little different. Anyway, the draft is around the corner and the Panthers need to make some hay in that draft. And it's beyond the first round pick. They have 3 picks in the top 100 or top 110 or something like that. They're going to have to nail a couple of these. That's what it takes to take a team like this that could potentially be on the rise and propel them into a place that could be a team that's building momentum and stability going forward. We need Marty Herney for Friday or for Thursday. It's a Thursday night, right? Thursday. Yeah. We need a Marty Herney for Thursday pick. And then we need deep picks and success later in the draft. Tonight's show, Cody, tell us what it is.
Man. Can trading back give the Panthers a new edge? I swear the Carolina Panthers have met with every edge rusher that's coming through the draft process. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But, Tony, let's jump into the show. Let's do a little bit of due diligence just sort of around the most relevant Panthers news before we jump into some of these 30 visits. Big time shocker. The Panthers have they've basically been running a bracket style contest for the past few weeks as to what is the favorite Panthers outfit of all the possible matchups. Surprise, surprise. No shocker at all. The fans have spoken and everyone loves the black helmets with the black jerseys, the black breeches, and the black socks. My very simple question is, does this move us anywhere closer to getting the black helmets year-round as our official helmet and this being our official year-round uniforms?
CK, they say it's too hot in August to wear a black helmet.
Man, I don't know. Maybe
do the
maybe a little bit.
Wear a black helmet in August?
Yes, and the Jaguars and the Ravens and the Falcons.
And they
so
all
it's
suck.
like,
oh
yeah, dude. So why? We're literally a Panther. Why shouldn't we have our black helmets? And why? What? You remember when David Tepper first got here, and we put the Panther logo in the middle of the field, and it was a big deal that all fans kind of got behind. It wasn't much, but it was a symbolic gesture of, hey, we're listening to the fans and the culture that you all have built here in Carolina. Look, it might not mean much to a lot of you, but I think this would be a perfect way for us to symbol that this is a Panthers team that's moving to the future. By the way, to all the people that are like, oh, those 90-degree games will be hot, I think early in the season, you wear the blue tops and the blue pants. You wear white when you're away. And then later in the year, once it cools down, then you can go back to the full black on black jerseys. And that's how you know we're playing fall football, when the Panthers are wearing black. I think that is perfect.
CK, have we worn black helmet, black top, blue pants?
Dude, I have not the historian
I feel
to
like
tell
I
you
should
this.
be better about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel
yeah,
like
we have. We've done pretty much every one of them at this point.
I like blue pants, black jersey, black helmet. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember if we've done it or not. And as the longest running Panthers podcast, you'd think we would know, but hell, it's all like, I don't know. Maybe
well, we did. We went through pretty much every company. I mean, I can pull up the full bracket of all of the ones that were picked, but there were a few ones that were up there.
Look, is the black helmet black? I mean, we're all dying for this. It's a more modernized look. I mean, how does anybody in marketing not get this? You know, I mean, but it feels like a conversation that we had like 5 years ago too.
That's what I'm saying. We continue to have it, and now that literally the Panthers have put out an official vote of what fans want and prefer. It's like, hello, hint, hint. This is sort of something that fans have been wanting for a long time.
While you pull up that bracket, if you're looking for it, CK, warm up those pipes. We got a member. If I can, why is it not showing? Show. Hold on. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, C3 Billy Ambrose joined the C3 Superfan Club once again. Welcome in to the C3 Superfan Club, Billy.
Go ahead and give Kristen Butler, member for 21 months, her shout out while you're on the pipes, on the mic.
Kristen Butler, welcome in once again for 21 months of being a C3 super fan. You are appreciated.
Just $1.99 a month. It's like almsgiving season for podcasters. It's a small little donation. We get 50% of that. Google takes the other 50%. But I like this is everybody give a little and it equals a lot instead of a few people giving a lot. But I'd like to thank also Nick Tri-State for giving $1.99 super C3 bomb right here. He said, wait till them blue helmets come out, bro. Now, that could be fire. A blue helmet with black jersey and blue pants. I like that idea. I like black, and blue helmet idea. I think this is like, let's get over it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is the NFL needs to get over this bull crap about like we can only have 2 helmets or whatever because of safety reasons. Bullshit. You are the richest freaking sports entity in the history of the world. Why can't we just lean into this? You know that the helmets are all made by the same damn companies. They're all the same exact damn helmets. Let them have some different colors and try some things out. Because what you can do is you can make it's a thing. It's like you could be like Cancer Awareness Month and we're doing pink helmets or something. You know how they do something like why does the NFL fight this? I don't understand that. I don't believe that the NFL does not have resources to check to see if the helmets are fly enough. All right, so here was the bracket. Black.
I'm talking the whole time and I'm muted. They did expand it. So this year you're allowed 4 alternate jerseys and helmets. It used to be 2 times a year. Now it's 4 times a year. But even still, man, like I think those should be throwbacks when we wear our old helmets with the old logo.
Yeah,
like
you said like camo.
Right, that's when we need to wear the silver helmets and do the throwbacks. And the rest of the year we have the all black. By the way,
when you induct the players, like the legends. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you induct the players or whatever, like the team does, and they recognize those players, you wear throwbacks then.
So just to show you how popular the black helmet is. So number 1 was the black helmet, black jersey, black pants, black socks. But then the all blue, the blue top, blue pants with the black helmet, that was the runner-up. That was number 2. And black helmet and black pants and black jerseys won by 69%. You know what? 69, that number is nice.
But
you know what else is nice? When we get a love bomb from the Bat Dad, he says, love you guys and the C3 family. Making my way back to real life. And next season we go 9-8, snag a wild card spot, and I can cut this damn beard. Positive thinking. Shout out Bat Daddy. We love you, bro.
Always in our thoughts, man. I try to call you when I can. Bat Daddy, look, thank you for you didn't have to, you're part of the damn show, but thank you for the C3 bomb, love bomb. We do have one request for you. We need take the same intro we got and change it from 2024 season to 2025. If we could just change that one slide in that is we keep the same intro, no time. Was there a third and fourth option? Because I like the blue jersey with the black pants.
Yeah, but I'd have to find it.
Don't worry about it. What do we got next, Cody?
Yeah, man, let's jump back in to the slide. So okay, we know that the black helmets are very popular, but you know what's probably even more popular? And trust me, Tony, I know this from doing the free-for-all. I've been online. I've been on Twitter. Dude, before we drafted Xavier Legette last season, it kind of felt as though we had really known about it before. It felt like all the tea leaves were pointing in that direction. Well, as of right now, the tea leaves sure do seem to be pointing to the Carolina Panthers being in love with Jalen Walker. Dave Canales spoke at length about Jalen Walker, and then Walker went on Kay Adams' show and spoke very well about the Panthers. This is starting to happen. The Panthers put out a roundup on their website of who some of the other media members around the internet are mocking to us. And there's some familiar names, Tony. You want to?
Jalen Walker was up there like from 10 of the roundup. If you look up the roundup on Panthers.com, it's like Jalen Walker is 4-1 all the other names. Can you go back to the picture of him? I was getting ready for the show, and I clipped this picture. I put it up, and my friend said, that's how I looked like when I went to work this morning. Oh, God. All right. So, my man.
It's stupid.
It's like he got a little Asian in him.
Man.
Probably got a Japanese grandma. Okinawan grandma. Right. No, but he is the name that most people are mocking. Mock. We're not making a mockery of it. We're celebrating it here. The free-for-all guys, big time on it, huh, Cody?
Yeah, dude, we love this dude. I mean, I won't play his clips because YouTube fucking hates that, apparently. But this dude, they play him all around the defense. They'll put him at middle linebacker over the center, and they'll play him on edge. And listen, if you're just comparing him to Frankie Louvu, which is sort of what I did once upon a time, you're missing the forest through the trees. And you have to imagine that a lot of people are viewing his potential like a Michael Parsons, who also his final year at Penn State, he didn't play a full-time edge rusher. They moved him around and adjusted some things, and now you see what type of a terror Michael Parsons has become. A lot of people are starting to put Jalen Walker into that role, and most people are saying right now that Jalen Walker is the absolute floor to how far he could fall. There's almost no way he falls past number 8 if he's still available.
Do you think he's there at 8?
So a lot of people are really high on the dude. So I've even heard Jacksonville could be interested. I heard the Raiders also could be interested. So there is that possibility that maybe
somebody in the chat said the Patriots. Are they ahead of us? I'm sure they are.
They're ahead of us, and the word is that he has a lot of fans in Patriot Nation. So like in the front office, that is. So it's very possible they snag him. He does seem like a Patriot type of a guy. Somebody that Vrabel would be a big fan of and trying to build that defense up. So I would be a bit concerned that they would go that route as opposed to going Travis Hunter, which a lot of people have him mocked to go to New England. So I could see that happening.
Would there be a chance Travis Hunter falls? No, I doubt that. But I tell you one thing is the Travis Hunter thing. What I love about that kid is like he's like such a good. He's like a little Luke Kuechly. Like he's like, oh, I just sit in the car while my girlfriend goes to the party. What kind of have you heard that story?
I have not.
No, so Travis Hunter was talking about is that his girlfriend that's like she's kind of like diva, she's like and like he's like trying and she's giving him shit. She wants to go and this and that. He took her to a party. She wanted to go to a party, like a college party, or maybe not, probably rich for all I know. Who knows what type of party it was? And he was like, I don't drink and I don't party. So he just sat in the car while she went to the party. So the Travis Hunter kid is committed. He is committed to a football player. He's just a good boy. A good boy from head to toe. Jalen Walker. But you know what you liked about this, Cody, is you saw that tight end name was up there.
Yeah, Tyler Warren. So
who else?
Those are my number 1 and number 2 preferred players in this draft. I like Mason Graham too, but Mason Graham isn't going to be there. We know this. To me, Tyler Warren and Jalen Walker, like this is the best defensive player and offensive player that would be available for the Panthers to draft. And I don't know, like I really do think that we're going to go best player available despite all the defensive players that we have met with. I really do think that they don't want to reach on a certain position just because they feel they must have one. So I do think an offensive player could be an option for them. It just depends on who.
Poppin wants to know. I want to know who Tony wants at number 8. I tell you this, I don't want to pick at number 8. I don't think this is the draft to pick at number 8 for me. And to be honest, if I picked at number 8, I want that Michigan. Is it Michigan, that defensive tackle?
Yeah.
What's his
Walker,
yeah. Yep. Oh,
what's his name?
What do you mean the main Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham, or you mean the other one? There's two.
If I'm picking at number 8, that's the player I want. I want to trade back, and it looks like the Carolina Panthers could be trading back. Cody, do we want to go ahead and jump to that, or do we want to take a cat call?
No, let's jump to that. Because I think that would be a very apt discussion.
And I have while I don't know, while I will go ahead and tell you this, is I'm not versed enough when it comes to the players and the prospects, because over the last 12 years of doing this podcast, I invested time in something I didn't really even love in the first place, and that's scouting speculation. And right now, for me, I've watched so many not so many, but I've covered these drafts via the podcast. And the one thing that I hate is the reach. The reach in the first 10 picks by teams that are reaching on potential only, right? And also reaching on what has worked recently. Like it's a recency bias of like, oh, well, Micah Parsons worked, so let's just try to find the next Micah Parsons. To me, the tight end position was always is like somebody hit on a tight end. So now, or there's a tight end that made a difference in the NFL. And so you can draft this player. And I think I go back to a couple of drafts. I think of the John Ross draft at wide receiver, where he threw that flashy that 40 time up. I think of the very draft that Brian Burns was drafted in, where Clem Farrell and like these skinny ass edge rushers, Dante Fowler, I think, was one of them, and stuff like this.
Brian Burns went in that draft.
Yeah. And so I think of that, and I don't think that those players. What I think is that the hyper coverage of the draft, right, the media cycle, the never-ending media cycle, has an effect in what it inflates value on players that are good players that have. But I think that players are being picked in the first round that are really second and third round talents because of the desire you want to be the smart. It's kind of like when I played CK when we played Modern Warfare or something, and you want to play sniper only, or I want a knife. Like for me, it was like back in what was it? The Nintendo 64 GoldenEye, and we play pistols only, and you're like, you make the game hard on yourself because you want to look cool. You're like, oh, I beat this dude with a knife and a sniper rifle only. And I feel like the draft has become that. It's like, oh, let me show you how smart I am. And instead, what I want us to do is, or I feel like a lot of these players who are second round picks or late first round picks get pushed up because of that media cycle. And maybe I'm jaded, maybe I'm negative on this, but I feel like a lot of that with these players. I have not heard, and I'm in passing. I'm trying to sell a house. I've got like a lot of things going on. Like, so I'm here, but I have not felt like there are consensus players in the top 10 in this draft, like I've heard before. I've not, like, hey, these are the top 3 picks regardless, period. And I just don't feel like that I've heard that or gotten that sentiment. So I think we should get into this Shedeur Sanders conversation right here.
Yeah, man, because there's been a lot of talk that the Pittsburgh Steelers have done their due diligence on all the quarterbacks in this year's draft. Now, in case you don't know, Aaron Rodgers basically has the Pittsburgh Steelers by the balls right now, in that he's pretty much the last stop for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's their option. If they don't sign Aaron Rodgers, they're going to have to draft a quarterback.
They got Mason Graham again. Do you know that? They have Mason. I think they have Mason Graham as their quarterback right now, who they used to have, or Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mason what the Rudolph? Fuck? You just confused the shit out of it. Yeah, Mason Rudolph. Yeah, he's back in the building. Yeah.
That's their starting quarterback. Maybe they should bring back Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, he's with a Super Bowl winning team now. But how about this, man? They have met with Shedeur Sanders, and I have a lot of thoughts about where Shedeur could end up going in this draft. But Shedeur Sanders has met with the Pittsburgh Steelers. They could potentially be looking to move up. What I'm saying is 21 too far to move down? And would you be willing to trade that far down? And shout out to our boy Edward Salamango Jr., he's Panthers analyst on Twitter.
And for
he proposed. He proposed Carolina gets a first, the Pittsburgh Steelers 21st pick, the 83rd pick, 156, 185, and a future first and third for us to give them the 8th overall pick and a future 7th.
I like how he's shopping. I like how he shot. He didn't make this. That's a good haul right there.
Dude, that's a fucking perfect haul.
I would take that in a second, bro. I would take that. You can knock off the future 3rd and the 5th in that, and I'd still take it.
CK, what say you, man?
Man, that's a lot. Even moving back to 21, I think that's certainly worth the move back. I'm hesitant to move outside of the top 20, but that's definitely I'd take that. I think CK, the players that are available that the Panthers are potentially interested in are late or 20s type. Like there's a lot of good defensive players, but they're not locks right out the gate. So I think that players, again, that they've been inflated from the 20s to the top, to the 10 to the 20s, right? And I think when we go through some of the names that could be available to the Carolina Panthers, I mean, is there some depth at these defensive edge positions, or that is good enough? You know what I'm saying? Like that are kind of second round picks that could be something, but you're overspending if you pick them at 15, you know? I mean, I think that's 100% a possibility. And I don't think it's unreasonable to want to trade back to get. That's what we talked about. Is I think that there's enough talent on defense for us to be able to get a guy who can be impactful while also trading back and getting assets. We had so many holes again, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse on this. We had so many holes on on this team that even if we were to go back into the 20s and then get a bunch of assets, I don't think our team is worse off for it. There's not one player that's going to come in here and change this defense. So anything we can do to increase our shots at the or what do you want to call it? Like, it spread out our shots across the board. I'm happy to be able to do that.
Cody, we go to Jalen Walker and you look at his college career. I just Wikipedia'd it, so we'll see if this is. He did win the Butkus Award in 2024. Played all 15 games his true freshman year at Georgia in 2022, 9 tackles and 1 sack. He was part of the team that won the national championship over TCU. As a sophomore in 2023, he played all 14 games and recorded 20 games and 5 sacks. As a junior in 2024, Walker was named Butkus Award. It does not give his stats there. 243 pounds, a little light in the weight, a little light in the pants. Now, that might have been when he was 21. But what I guess is that
remember though, it's an outside linebacker, so we're not talking about a Julius Peppers fourth.
Julius Peppers played outside linebacker in Green Bay.
I know. I'm saying generally, even all the edge rushers that we're about to talk about here in a little bit, most of them are
light in the pants.
Yeah,
they got no ass, as Joe Riolano would say. Rest in peace.
But can you set the edge? Because some of those dudes who are light in the ass can set an edge. And that's the thing where I've been hard on Abdul Carter, the Penn State edge rusher, and I feel like Jalen Walker converts speed to power better than Carter. I feel like Carter lacks a lot of that top end strength, whereas Walker can just straight up bulldoze you, and he never gives up. Tony, the dude has that functional play strength that I do think that you look for in those positions. And it's the locker room.
CPG in the comments says linebacker in 3-4 is just a glorified defensive end. In fact, they are a defensive end. And how many times are we running a 3-4 and we're getting mad about them dropping that guy into coverage when they are your pass rusher? We talked about this on the show. I know that not everyone listening right now is listening to all shows. But, Cody, there is something lacking in the statistics of the top of the guys that are coming out of college right now. Why is that? Why are these guys not putting up numbers? Is it because they're on defenses where everybody's eating and there's only so much you can eat? But there is no guy that is Julius Peppers had like 5 strip sacks in one season as a college player.
Yeah, well, and there are players in this draft that do have good stats,
okay,
from a tackles and sacks perspective. But again, a lot of it is defensive scheme wise. So remember, we're talking about Georgia. They have dogs everywhere. They literally had multiple guys with 4+ sacks. I mean, it's a committee down there. And yet, even as an off-ball linebacker, Walker still had 6.5 sacks. That's pretty impressive.
That is good.
It is. And remember that
he's the cream of the crop.
He is. And also remember that these coaches are projecting not necessarily what he was in college, but what they project him to be in the NFL, because not everyone's going to play him the same. Whereas they're probably
going to have both to me, Cody. It's like, we can't.
Right, but I'm saying teams might want to play him as a full-time edge rusher as opposed to being an off-ball linebacker like he was in Georgia.
Well, all right. I mean, like, I'm not the Walker pick, not opposed to it. I just don't want to reach with a light in the pants boy that ain't a dog. But if the Carolina Panthers
film, brother, he's the man, dude.
If the Carolina Panthers were to trade back to 21, what are some of the options available to them if they were? Because you mentioned they are shopping those defensive linemen all across the board. We had some players queued up. I might have caught you off guard. I'm looking at you. Scroll where?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up the Jalen Walker interview that he did with Kay Adams, just to let you know, like, there's already a bit of a love fest going on between Walker and the Carolina Panthers.
How
about
Shade
this?
on XL? Oh my goodness.
What?
Shade on XL in the chat already.
Nobody even brought him up, and we already got people talking.
I know.
How about this? Let's take a couple calls. Let's listen to the C3 Legion tell us some of their thoughts about these Carolina Panthers. If you would like to be a part of the show and leave a message for us, the number is 252-228-5098. Have your voice heard on the longest running Panthers podcast on the internet. Boys, let's do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Podcast brothers, how y'all doing? It's G Cavassier. Hey man,
what up, G?
It's 3 weeks until the draft, and I cannot wait. But I called to get some stuff off my chest. I made a call a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think it went through. But if it did, I'm gonna repeat my damn self. They talking about we need a number one wide receiver, this and that. Understand this: we didn't have a we didn't have a number one wide receiver in 2003. We went to the Super Bowl. No, it wasn't Steve Smith. No, it wasn't Ricky Prohl. No, it wasn't Muhsin Mohamed. When we went to the Super Bowl in 2015, we didn't have a number one wide receiver. So stop with that. And, Dave Canales said they got a number one receiver already on the roster. And good old the X-Man, Xavier Legette, even though Adam Thielen is balling his ass out of control. Good old Adam Thielen. Man,
yes,
anyway, hey, I called you guys to let you know I don't think we're going to get that defensive tackle from Michigan. I really don't. The reason why is you picked up Bobby Brown III, and you picked up that dude from Kansas City. And with this retarded-ass 3-4 defense, I don't see that. If we had a 4-3, maybe. We could switch him in and out, but I don't see Mason Graham coming to Carolina. With the number 8 pick, I would like Jalen Walker. But if he is not there, I said it once, I said it again, Cody, I agree with you. I want that tight end from damn Penn State. Oh, my God. I would love for him to go. But you know what? I got a feeling somebody's going to try to trade up with us. I really do. And we'll go back a little further. But us going back, there's other players we can damn pick. But honestly, if Jalen Walker is not there at 8,
in different ways. What stood out about the Panthers?
Give me your thoughts on that, y'all. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding, brother. Appreciate you, G. Man, a lot to cover there. Listen, I agree to start with what you mentioned first, Xavier Legette. To me, I have no doubts, man. Like, I am somebody who believes that you have to let, especially the exterior players, like wide receiver, you have to let them grow. You have to let them develop. I'm a big fan of letting players become who they're supposed to be. You don't give up on them after 1 year. I think fans are also a little bit jaded from Jonathan Mingo too. But yeah, CK, what say you, man?
Man, I personally, again, it's if I'm going to, number one, I think the XL hate is absolutely absurd. It's one year of a down year, and in all honesty, it wasn't even the worst year. It was just there were a few really apparent drops that made it worse than it was. Right. So and so I am not out on the XL, and Tony and I have been united in this front from the end of last season until now. So I still believe, and me and Cody were talking about it before the show. Like I I think we still have so much to focus on defense. I really need us to have a focus there and get better there before I start making any decisions to, move in a wide receiver route or anything like that.
I tell you this is when it comes to the XL stuff, is XL was more, we've given more grace to less productive players.
Yeah. 100%.
In Panther history, drafted in the first, second, third rounds. And I don't care. You want to say he was a first round of whatever it is. It's a second round pick, but I don't care. Is he put up 600 yards and 4 touchdowns? And yeah, there was a couple of drops in some big time moments where Panther fans wanted to beat the Chiefs or beat these teams that were made us feel better. In some ways that might have hurt us. We've been picking 12, 13 or something there. I just feel like this is that we're just so weird in the players that we give grace to and the ones we don't. And I thought that XL, the disappointing part about XL is that we wanted him to, it's not even disappointing. It's what it is. It's like you didn't meet the expectations that we set. So whatever you did wasn't enough. And it's, to me, it kind of reminds me of an insurance company where an insurance company goes, oh, we lost money last year. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't make as much money as you projected you would make.
Yeah, you didn't make enough to give your CEO an extra $500,000 bonus.
They still did that, bro. I'm talking this is that when the insurance companies say we lost money, that means we didn't profit 3,000%. The thing is, if there was anything disappointing to me about XL, it wasn't the drops. It was, I wanted a guy that's that big ball. I wanted him to mash a DB and run after the catch. We didn't have any run after the catch. That was the disappointing part to me that I wanted to see. Look, we give grace to players. I'm not saying you give them a pass, but I didn't see anything to me that says this guy can't play in the NFL.
Well, and look, the drops outshined everything else because the drops were so big and so memorable, and some of them were literally for a potential game-winning touchdown, So it's easy to remember those, but it's also easy to forget some of the great things that he did do last year.
Got 4 touchdowns, and Jonathan Mingo has never.
Dude, he was getting open. You drafted him to be a big, strong wide receiver that knows how to make space on his own, and he did that. And I personally think that he has way more of an upside than Ted McMillan does, who so many people are still drooling over.
Think about how much. Oh, this is
absolutely absurd.
Isaac Irvin says he's better than TMJ. Think about how much Cody just.
That don't take too much.
Oh my God.
Doesn't take too much.
Terrace Marshall Jr. and how much grace y'all gave him. All right, let's bring on the beautiful Kay Adams right now.
Yeah, so this is Kay Adams. Kay Adams talking to Jalen Walker about the Carolina Panthers.
All of them are special and all of them are unique in different ways. What stood out about the Panthers?
Right. Their staff is great. And shout out to my guy Los, who's bringing me around all day long. That whole staff in general, they have a mission and have a plan to bring up the dynasty of the Carolina Panthers once again. And, I'm excited to see what they have planned in store, what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you were born in South Carolina. You went to high school in North Carolina. I did my homework. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm only 45 minutes down the road, down Highway 85 in Salisbury. So it wouldn't be as bad as getting back home.
So there you have it, man. And also Dave Canales.
It's the pick.
Dude, Dave Canales also spoke about, it was literally the day before Dave Canales was on Kay Adams' show. And it was glowing when talking about Jalen Walker. I'll try and find that too, Tony. But now you start to see some of the reasons why Panther fans and why many of the mock drafts around the internet have slated this guy to Carolina. The more and more time goes by, it's looking more and more inevitable every day.
Hey, let's take it. You know what is sometimes it's meant to be. Sometimes it's the right pick. I think at 8, you're good with that, man. Let's rock it. You notch it and you move on. If that's not there, then you start thinking, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of different ways that this could play out. It'll be interesting to watch. Yeah, man.
What's up, C3? It's Lucas from Far City.
What up, Luke?
I want to talk about a move the Panthers made this week. So the Panthers are signing a former college basketball player from Coastal Carolina named Colin Granger, who hasn't played football since 8th grade. No high school, no college football experience, just middle school. Apparently the dude is 6'9", so he's pretty tall. But the dude hasn't played football since he was going through puberty. So
he's
I don't
still
know
going
what
through
to think
puberty.
about this. I think it's a stupid ass move by the Panthers. I don't think I don't see this dude doing anything beyond the practice squad. Hopefully his height will benefit us. But I don't see him doing anything. He hasn't played football since middle school. I want to know what y'all are thinking. I don't like this move at all. I'd rather have some nobody from Jacksonville come take his spot. At least he's got experience. I know experience ain't everything, but damn, that is a long time not to play football. Keep pounding, go Panthers.
Keep pounding. So this is the perfect segue, dude. So the Panthers signed Coastal Carolina power forward Colin Granger, a 6'9", 225-pound college basketball player, to a contract to play tight end. He's making the jump from the hardwood to the gridiron.
Bro,
Look,
if he concentrates on catching the football like he's concentrating on that free throw right there, he ain't dropping shit.
Well, so listen, there's like a famous pipeline, right? Where if you're a tight end, it's almost like a joke, like a running joke. That if you're a tight end,
Gates.
No, you played basketball. You were a basketball player.
This started with Antonio Gates. This is the reason it happened. Antonio Gates wasn't a football player. He's a basketball player, and he went to be a Hall of Famer. But don't worry. You're probably right. Practice squad. Actually, no squad, bro. But
so hold on. Let's take a look at our boy here, right? This is some of him in action.
Oh, I love him already.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This is a big bad.
He's like my Gardner Minshew.
And he has a porn stash, dude. Come on, man.
That's Gardner Minshew of tight ends.
Oh, look at him high point the ball. Yeah, we got a new superstar on the way, don't we? Yeah, my man can move. Brought the lightning. You saw that? He brought the legit boom out
here. He gets hit, poor guy.
I don't know, dude, but it's hard to teach 6'9", 220 plus pounds, you know?
Well, they say basketball players are the greatest athletes in the world.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I mean, they are the most athletic, like overall athletics, like run, jump, athleticism is like, I mean, they can't play offensive lineman or something. But to be an NBA, I mean, he's not NBA, but like basketball players are agile. They can jump, they can run, they can move.
Dude, listen to some of the comments. Ron Burgundy looking tight end.
Yeah.
Porn stash.
The dude's not going to make it.
D-Money says he sells insurance for sure.
If he does, we're looking up. That's for sure. All right, you know what did he have to say, Cody, about being signed as a Carolina Panther? It's got to be interesting for a player who has not played football since 8th grade to all of a sudden be now on their notch, on their wall, get to say they're a Carolina Panther.
Yeah, so let's hear from the man himself.
Well, he's quiet.
Anything, and I mean anything, that you want to do in life, you can do. And do not let a single motherfucker tell you anything else, because it's bullshit. A month ago, I was playing college basketball. A month ago. It's April 7th now. I played my last game March 4th. It's now April 7th. I just signed an NFL contract with the Carolina Panthers. I'm a Carolina Panther now. Anything is fucking possible, and do not let anyone tell you different, man. Ever.
So there you have it.
What was the noise in the back?
It was a windshield wiper.
Oh, his windshield wiper, which actually made it ridiculous. If he would have turned that off, that would have been great.
It was important.
How are you? How is no? All right. So here's the thing: is if this were, it's not. No one thinks that this is going to beat anything. No one thinks. But how about this? Ian Thomas played for the Panthers for 7 years.
Yeah, I already like him better than Ian Thomas.
Like, I mean, but like, are we not rooting for this story?
Yeah, dude. I mean, but
not rooting for basketball player?
I was rooting for him like I was rooting for Thicker Kicker last year. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna root for the guy. But you're right, it probably isn't gonna amount to much. But dude, what a cool story that would be though. If this random guy that we signed in the middle of the offseason, more as a gimmick than anything, the fact that he's 6'9", 230 some pounds, and if he did end up,
He's not a looker. I don't want to.
Hey man, dude is in the eye of the beholder, man. That porn stash, I bet he doesn't have any problems, bro.
I know.
I don't think
guys over 6'3", girls are like, I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, but also at a certain time, once you are a certain height, it's kind of freakishly tall. Like you're almost a little bit too tall. Dude, 6'9", that's gotta be rough. You know what I mean? Like you're always
every girl is like, I kind of want to see it.
But dude, you're looking down on even tall people.
I know. This guy is, you know what? I'm here for it. I am here for it. I was here for Harrison Butker. And this is not even in the realm of that, but still, like, do you know how many bum ass players we've cheered for and hoped for on this team to like make it? And you guys are going to tell me like whatever he can do. Like, I'm here for this. I hope this mug makes the goddamn team. Or,
you want to take another call? I also have the clip of Dame Canales talking about Walker. If you wanted to hear that too.
Yeah, let's take a call and then we'll go back to draft talk with Javon Walker. The number is 252-228.
Tony Dunn, Cody Lack, the C3 Legion.
What up?
Hope checking in real quick. Hey, just a couple of things I had on my mind. I wanted to share this evening, man, on Tuesday. So, man, the more that I look at Jalen Walker's film, y'all, I think that this dude might be the pick.
Perfect.
If we don't trade back. I really do. And I'll tell you why. Not only does he pass the eye test with his ability, but also, man, when I think about Evero, I don't have much confidence that Evero is going to make it after this year. And I think that we need to draft somebody versatile, like a Jalen Walker, man, that can fit multiple schemes. Whether it's 3-4 or 4-3, man, because I don't have any confidence that Evero's going to be here after the last year on his contract. But I was thinking about that. Also, man, honestly. One other thing, man, when it comes to XL, man, Xavier Legette, hey, man, for real, like, people need to stop treating this dude like he's Jonathan Mingo, man. Like, where's the grace? Like, I know that we've been scarred from, receivers like Jonathan Mingo and Terrace Marshall Jr., but the fact of the matter is, man, XL got a much bigger upside, and we give Bryce Young, man, all this grace, and I'm happy for Bryce, man, but, we need to give XL a little bit more grace, man. That dude could develop into something great. But anyway, man, just a couple thoughts, man. It's the Hope dealer. Stay hopeful out there. Everybody keep pounding. I'm out.
That call.
Pounding.
That call came in, Cody, before I made my spiel. That call was really like, because you can leave a voicemail anytime on the Cat Calls line. That call came in before I said what I was talking about with Grace. And who did I mention? Jonathan Mingo, Terrace Marshall
Yeah.
Jr. I spared Bryce Young in that conversation, but like we pick and choose our winners and our losers in our life. And I think if you pick an XL to be a loser out the gate after he put up 600 yards and 4 touchdowns, you are an insurance CEO that told us you lost money last year.
Dude, yeah, people are jaded by Jonathan Mingo and how bad he flamed out. But you know who I don't think would flame out? Jalen Walker. There's a reason why these so many people are talking about him. That's why people are mentioning him in the cat calls. But you know who else mentioned him? Our head coach, Dave Canales. And in fact, that's what prompted StreamYard's so stupid nowadays, man. That's what prompted Kay Adams to ask Jalen Walker about the Carolina Panthers. This is what Dave Canales had to say about Jalen Walker.
Every dog we talk to, they talk about Jalen Walker. They talk about the accountability, the way that he pulls the whole group together, the way that he plays with his hair on fire and communicates and all those things. And so I think there's just some intangibles about the guy that are really special.
He wants to, you know, he seems like that would be a nice fit.
Yeah, he's right up the road. I mean, you know, this is what is it? Highway is it 85?
I don't know,
Close, so.
but I know that you pick 8th, and I know there's a lot of connections there. And I just
look at her beside Dave Canales, just gushing.
Walker. Okay.
So
hold on, pause this. Kay Adams is on something right here beside Dave Canales. Look at that. Go back 5 seconds if you can. Look at Kay Adams.
Seems like that would be a nice fit.
Yeah, he's right up the road. I mean, you know, this is was it Highway is it 85? You know, super
I don't know.
close, so.
Dude, she is everybody's.
Look him in his eyes.
She's everybody's collective football crush. Everybody loves it.
No,
But I know that you pick 8th, and I know there's a lot of connections there. And I just feel like all signs are pointing. Blink if you're drafting Jalen Walker.
Look, she can't deal with it. She can't deal with Dave Canales is the look. We got the hottest football staff. Fuck that.
Yeah, our coach is a Giga Chad.
Kay Adams. Kay Adams was on tilt there, bro. She was shook.
Can I tell you the amount of women that I've talked to?
Watch it one more time. Watch it from the beginning. Just watch it from the beginning, dude. She is giddy. She's like a little high school girl around Dave Canales.
What did you say,
Dave Canales, go read your own book. Stay true, bro. Stay strong.
The amount of women in real life that I talk to that only know the Carolina Panthers because we have Dave Canales as our head coach is astronomical.
It's
like it's wild.
It's a real thing, CK. It's a real thing. He's like a TikTok phenomenon. Let's watch it one more time. Watch your face, Cody. Look, you want girl. If girls be looking at you like this, if fly ass girls like this looking at you like this, you know you a baller, bro.
Guys that are really special.
He wants to, you know, he seems like that would be a nice fit.
Yeah, he's right up the road. I mean, you know,
the shoulders. The shoulders.
85, you know, super
I don't know,
close. So,
but I know that you pick 8th, and I know there's a lot of connections there. And I just feel like all signs are pointing. Blink if you're drafting Jalen Walker. Okay.
Bro, she is shook. She is shook. Kristen Butler says, I think his assistant is even hotter. And that's the point. And he's his best friend. They be doing the Jameis Winston exercises before.
Yeah,
anyway,
man, but
you know what? I want to
be
be beautiful. I want to be beautiful. So I ain't hating on that. Dave Canales, do your thing. You got Kate.
Dude, you know what? It sounds like Dave Canales thinks Jalen Walker is beautiful. And that's what I think is beautiful.
He's like, I didn't even see Kay Adams. I just saw
he's like, I was just thinking about Jalen Walker and those
motherfucker.
incredible leadership abilities. You know what I'm saying? But no, I mean, look, that's why this feels like a foregone conclusion, man. I genuinely believe that right now, if the Panthers could pick anyone in this year's draft, they're probably picking Jalen Walker. Some fans are going to love that. Some fans are going to hate that. Even I would love to trade back a little bit and still pick Jalen Walker.
Yeah,
but one hand shouldn't the other. Too many teams are now aware of.
Man, they knew it from the
skill
beginning.
set, the potential. Yeah, man.
Cody, I think you need to be worrying about if Jalen Walker is there at 8.
No, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, the Jaguars and the Raiders seem like two prime spots that could swoop in
or
and
any
potentially
team.
grab them.
Right.
No, not every team. I don't think there's a few players that I think are bumping him down the board. I don't think he's going higher than Mason Graham. I don't think he's going higher than Abdul Carter, but that's really because Carter had the stats and he was a full-time pass rusher. I think he has a higher potential than Abdul Carter. The offensive tackle from LSU is going to be up there looking to push people down. Tyler Warren is going to push people down. So I do think that he isn't going to be the belle of the defensive ball, but I do think there could be some teams ahead of us that maybe are looking to consider him.
Yeah. Off the Porch podcast asking us, man, what's up, D? He said, what the hell is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. I remember the golden era of the Panthers when we were badass and pretty boy. We had Cam, beautiful man. We had Luke, beautiful man. We had Thomas Davis, sexy. We had Greg
Olsen, our third leg.
A4 crew, right? Look, you can be a baller and look good doing it. So imagine if we were killing it. We'd be killing it, y'all. Like Fabulous said, FABOLOUS. We'd be killing it. Imagine if Dave can look beautiful and kill it. Kay Adams she'd be out at our training camp every year. Where we got? We taking more calls?
We only have 2. You want to do some more slides here?
Let's rock.
Yeah, man. So look, when I told you that the Carolina Panthers, that they are looking for their new edge, I was not playing with y'all, man.
Oh, this is my. Oh no.
Oh, there's more. I mean, look, we'll go through the whole list.
This is my
right?
guy. This is my guy right here.
Of course, you like a cock. How non-surprising. But
it's called unsurprising. Yeah, unsophisticated.
You know what? Maybe you really are. Maybe you really are Kevin's actual father.
I've been
just
trying
a
to
bunch
tell
of
y'all.
fucking cocks, bro. All right, man. So Kyle Kennard, the edge from South Carolina, has visited the Panthers. So 6'4", 254 pounds, finished the 2024 season with 28 tackles, 11.5 sacks. There's your stats, Tony. 39 pressures, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 pass deflection.
This is the guy, dude. This is the guy. But it's one of those guys that you pick in the 20s. You know, that turns out to be a stud. Instead of reaching. This guy can fucking play, bro. I've watched him. And go ahead. And Kev, I see you in the chat. My bastard son. I might as well just call you my son at this point. But the quarterback for y'all just mark it down. And I don't like none of this projection shit or whatever. But the quarterback for the South Carolina Gamecocks right now,
I'm about to dump you into the background so fucking fast.
The true baby Cam.
Nobody even knows that dude's name.
2 years.
I can't even tell you that dude's name. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know what dude you're talking about. As a matter of fact, if you're a quarterback who needs glasses, you're probably trash. But
he's gonna be a top 5 pick in 2 years.
Nah, for sure not. But let's. So look, we're looking for that edge. Tony, you did mention the number of
Lenore Stellars.
Oh my god!
Mark it down.
That guy sucks. Anyway, but we're not done, boys, because then Oregon defensive end Jordan Birch is visiting the Carolina Panthers from Columbia, South Carolina. 6'4", 279 pounds, 31 total tackles, 8.5 sacks, 32 pressures, 1 forced fumble,
That's a dude, right?
5 passes defended or passes defended.
That's a fucking dude right there. 279 ass.
That's what I'm saying. And he almost had 10 sacks. 8.5 sacks.
Almost had 10 sacks. You know what?
Yeah, he's in the Big Ten.
He got more than 8. He got Brian Burns numbers right there.
And remember, Oregon is in the Big Ten now. So he's going up against the good players. So
look, the Carolina Panthers, I think, have options. I think this is that, again, I don't want to reach for a player in the top 15 that isn't a real top 15 player. You know? And
so these dudes right here, interestingly enough, are probably the dudes that we would take with our second round pick, which again is why I would want to trade back a little. Or some of these guys,
in the 20s or something like that.
Yeah, but also some of these players that we're talking about here have they're probably going sooner than 57, you know, but they're definitely going much later than pick 8. So if the Panthers are able to pull off some sort of a trade, a lot of these dudes are more open for us later on in the draft. But hold on, dude, we're not done. Even still, looking for more outside linebackers. Edge Braden Swenson on a top 30 visit to the Carolina Panthers. 6'4", 255 pounds. He finished the 2024 season with 56 total tackles, 8.5 sacks, 59 pressures. That's a fuckload. 2 forced fumbles and 3 passes defended. You know, Tony, you were looking for all the stats. I feel like some of the stat guys are more available later on than they are early on. Which is
then
weird.
what's the deal? What's the deal, homie? Let's go. Let's trade back and get some shit done.
Yeah,
let's take 2 of these motherfuckers. Let's take 2 of these guys back to back.
It's an option. Another one. Dude, look at this guy. Donovan Ezeraku.
Too little, man.
No, hold up. Look where
pants, bro.
He's 250 pounds. It's the same weight.
Wait,
It's the same weight as Jalen Walker.
What is he?
6'2", 250
the
pounds.
Edge?
He's an outside linebacker.
Edge,
outside linebacker. It's the same
bro.
thing, Tony.
Tell me, man, it doesn't work in the NFL, man. You have
Tony,
to be
not all your outside linebackers.
You have to be a freak of freaks to be able to cover and to rush.
Disagree. How much does Michael Parsons weigh? He doesn't weigh that much. Neither
how much does Brian Burns weigh?
How about Von Miller? Hey, Von Miller was around 6'3", 245 pounds. The idea that you have to be a Julius Peppers style Hulk to be successful at the position. Khalil Mack was 255 pounds. If anything, this dude is right in the wheelhouse.
Bro.
And dude, by the way, dude, he had 16.5 sacks. If you know how to get to the quarterback, you know how to get to the quarterback. I would love this dude later on in the draft, man. 59 pressures, 3 forced fumbles, 1 pass deflected, and he met with the Panthers. He also met with us and did an interview at the Senior Bowl this year. So remember, the more times
Khalil Mack was 250. Damn.
I'm telling you, bro. Come on, dude. Come on, dude.
I don't want another Brian Burns, bro. I'm tired of those little skinny ass motherfuckers that can't do shit.
Right, but that's why you have to look at the film. Brian Burns was never able to win with power. He didn't ever convert speed to power, and that prevented him from being an elite pass rusher in the NFL. I don't give a damn what his paycheck says. Now, Donovan Ezeraku, on the other hand, does not have these problems. A lot of these players, I feel, have higher upsides than Brian Burns. And I know that's easier said than done, but there are some real talented players in this draft at edge rusher.
Do you know what I don't like about the skinny outside linebacker pass rusher? Beat with speed, right? To me, it continues to go back to a player that can do multiple things, but they can't do one thing great. Right? Is like, and we've talked about this ad nauseum on this podcast, is the jack the Isaiah Simmons pick. It looks so good in college. Like they can do everything, blah, blah, blah. But they can't do one thing great. And I feel like in the NFL, we need to, your role, man. You know what the fuck you're supposed to be doing all day, every day. And if you are an elite pass rusher, you don't need to be dropped back into pass coverage. I want a guy that is destined for a role. And that's why I'm just adverse to these tweeners, man. Tweeners.
Yeah, but you have to judge more than just the number, Tony. That's all I'm saying. These dudes, look, playing in the ACC, dude, you don't just happen across damn near 17 sacks. Like the dude clearly has a penchant of getting after.
In one season, he had 7.
Yeah, this last year he was one of the leading edge rushers in all of college football.
Well, I mean, how was he not the leader at 17? That's what I want to know. Who the fuck had more than?
I got off the top.
Yeah, who the hell had more sacks than that? That's what I want to know, and I want to draft that guy. That's what I'm saying.
Let me download one more. And then the last one. Well, no, not the last one. So Cam Jackson, the monster defensive tackle from Florida, 6'6". How much does he weigh? 6'6", 328 pounds.
There we go. Got an ass on him.
Yes, he does. And listen, we've been saying for a while too that this defensive interior could also
can't stop the run.
Bear to have a little more girth, some of that power. You know what I'm saying? Now this is the one that I love because again, you know me. If I've watched film of a guy and I feel like I see a dog, then I'm all over it. And let me tell you, Tony, this dude right here.
What position he play at 242? You better say he had that.
Carson Schlesinger, dude, he is an inside linebacker.
Okay.
He's close to the football. I'll pull up some clips, but so many Panther fans are pumped about this. But the potential of drafting Jalen Walker in round 1 and then drafting Schlesinger later on, pair those two together. But Trevin Wallace, dude, all of a sudden the Panthers can have a pretty badass linebacking core. How important do you think linebacker, specifically the off-ball linebacker, is going to be for Carolina in this draft?
CK, your thoughts on the importance of re-establishing a linebacker crew in Carolina?
I mean, I've been saying that's probably one of the biggest needs that we have outside of our interior defensive line. Obviously, we want to be a team that's able to rush the pass or the quarterback, but we have had a middle of the pack linebacker core for so long.
You hear Whitehead?
I mean, it's been one after another of like these guys who would go to another team and be a second stringer, right? And I'm not saying it's every one of them, and I'm not saying that we haven't had some people slip in there, but I just want to be able to have a team and have that middle, that linebacker core be one that everybody talks about when we go into that next game, right? When you see other teams talking about game planning for the Panthers, I think the idea of having that linebacker core be a core concept of how to defend against the Panthers is going to be something that we've been waiting for that too long. We're so starved for that type of a defense, man. And I think that's partially why I feel the way that I feel, but I think it's so important.
So by the way, this is shout out to our boy Diesel Skills for throwing this together. This is Carson Schlesinger and what he does on the interior of that Bruins defensive line. The dude, he's aggressive, flows to the football. He's a good tackler. We need a player just like this.
You knew what that play was doing before it happened.
Yeah.
Plays free. You need a linebacker but you have to have a defensive front that you can play free if you're a linebacker, right? If you have to worry about the defensive front not being able to handle what they can handle, they can't play free. We need that. If I'm a GM, I'm building center out on both sides of the ball. I'm telling you, it's guards, center. We'll figure out the edges later on offensive line. I know that's not, you want these lockdown players. On defense, you're talking about defensive tackle for me. You're talking about middle linebacker, talking about strong safety. Eliminate the center of the field. Let the edge guys do what they need to do.
Yeah, man. I'm a fan of him. Let me load up 2 more calls real quick. And
the number is
let's
252-228-5098. We thank you for hanging out with us. It's the off season. We still grinding.
Yep. Yeah, sure. All right, let's take another one.
Grinding.
I know. Get that Pharrell. You up in Virginia. You know about that shit, right? So smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, consider being a C3 super fan. All donations are appreciated. We're going to be crushing it. And this season, the Legion's going to be, wait till the Panthers are good and the faithful are going to be, we're building on that, bro. Cody, we need to take some more calls.
Let's do it.
Cody's ex post about, like, if the Steelers want to give up 21st to.
Hold on.
What's up, say? Yo, what's White Chocolate Espresso? I'm calling about Cody's ex post about, like, if the Steelers want to give up 21st to get our 8th pick for Sanders, would you do it? You fucking right, I would. I don't even care about the compensation because not all draft classes, not all first round picks are equal by year. Like this first round pick class doesn't hold a candle to last year's first round pick class. Like not even close. So I'm cool with trading a little bit back and maybe get an extra first next year and your third because they don't have a second. I'm cool with that. Or the Rams, they're interested in the quarterback. They don't have a second round pick either, so get their 26 and their third and first. Or go after the Seattle pick because they need a quarterback too for the future. They have 2 second rounders. Maybe go after them. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I think we should do it. Fuck it, man. I'm telling you. Trade back in a heartbeat. It ain't going to happen over a week or next week or 2 weeks from now. It's going to happen like the day of the draft. Like the day of the draft. I just had a call interrupt me. I don't know if y'all heard what I had to say before it interrupted me, so I'm going to say it again. Rams, 26th pick with their 90th pick, or Seattle with their 18th pick and 2 seconds. That's what I got. Peace.
Okay, so there are lots of options. Kev is in favor of it. By the way, CK, I put a poll in the chat. With 57 votes, would you take the trade with the Steelers for the Panthers to move back to 21? 43% said in a heartbeat, and 57% said stay at 8 and pick your guy. So again, it's not consensus that the Panthers should or shouldn't trade back. I've also heard it said from a lot of fans that they would like us to stay at number 8 overall and then move up to and then move up in the second round from 57 to try to go up and get one of these players that we've just sort of been mentioning here. So, I mean, yeah, that would be cool. Kev, I thought that was your second call. I grabbed the second one in the slot. Tony, you're cool with trading back? Yeah, I know you're cool with trading.
Yeah, I actually am. I'm cool with, and I don't think 21 is too far. I know it feels like a good bit back. It is a big drop, but I think it's more about what you can get from someone trading into the top 10.
Yeah,
and I mean, if Walker's gone, are you really just like that in love with any player that's going to be I feel like it's not like you're trading a top 5 pick away,
Right.
And there's not even a consensus in the top 5 really here. And you know what? I want the Panthers to start thinking about taking an offensive lineman in this first round.
No.
Why? Why is nobody talking about it? What?
Because if you're doing that, because you're not drafting a player for this year. You want to draft an impact player for this year as opposed to drafting the backup for Taylor Moton to leave next year.
I don't think that your first round pick, particularly if you're outside the top 10, has to be a dedicated impact player this year.
But we're inside the top 10. Are you saying just if we trade back?
If we trade back, definitely. I think you need to start thinking those things. And I think we need to start thinking outside the box. I'm sorry, man. Build the trenches. Everybody's talking defense. Yeah. Where is all the offensive line talk? What if somebody gets hurt? What if Aquanu, you don't have any?
That's literally what you brought back Brady Christensen for.
Okay.
That's the epitome of depth.
I just think you think long term, CK.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't disagree. You want to think long term, but you also don't want to think so long term that you're not thinking about the current situation that we're in either, Like we're not.
How about this? Is you can pick, we talk about this all the time. You can pick a quarterback at number 1, and the wise thing might be to sit him for a year. So you're trying to tell me that's completely outside the box to say that an offensive lineman, just because you got guys now, is off the table?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I think that's too short-sighted.
But year 3 is so important for Bryce and for the team to go forward. But I know that's what I'm saying.
Number 1 pick and not and sitting him for a year. Why wouldn't you take a 13 or an 8 and something?
Because the quarterback is more important to the overall. I mean, listen, you have to have good players at every position, but the quarterback is just more important to the overall health of the offense. And you can ruin a quarterback if you play him too early. If we drafted an offensive lineman,
Eagles are a great example.
They're not playing until next year.
Always had defensive tackles, and they draft another one. And they draft another one, and they draft another one. They've drafted, they had the best defensive tackles in the league, and then they draft one in the top 10. I just think it's wild that people are like, nope, it's impossible for the Panthers to think offensive line in the first round.
Yeah.
And maybe in the top 8, I get what you're saying. But, if you trade back to 21 and you pick, I don't know. And I'm not saying they should do that. I just think it's crazy that we're just so – I feel like we're so locked into it has to be this, it has to be that. And I don't think you should be like that in the draft.
Well, I don't disagree, but I also don't think that there's an offensive lineman that I think is worth taking at the 8 right now.
Well, I have no idea either.
Yeah. I mean, like when you look at every single draft board, I'm not saying that there's not a high quality talent, but I don't see offensive linemen making it to us that is worth an 8th round pick.
Are there?
Well, Will Campbell.
Let me ask you this, Cody: are there any offensive linemen projected in the top?
Yes.
10?
So the LSU left tackle, Will Campbell, is projected to be a top 10 pick. Now he also has
one offensive lineman.
No, and Manobu.
What is going on?
No, there's also the right tackle from I believe it's Arizona State. I have to look it up again. I showed some clips of him on the free for all. He's a right tackle. So that's, Taylor Moton only has a year left on his deal. The dude is awesome. I would love to see him on the team. I'll bring up some clips of him.
If he falls, Will Robinson, thank you for the C3.
Is it
the professor has gone nutty professor here. I'm just saying this is like all the drafts that we have covered. how many times have there been coveted offensive linemen? I haven't heard one. And again, I'm on the outside looking in, so you guys are gonna have to tell me, where is this just draft just a missing offensive lineman?
No, they're there, man. They're just deeper. They're not. Certain drafts are top heavy at certain positions. Some of them are more depth players that are towards the back. There are some high end offensive line players. I'm about to show y'all one of them. Let me show. Here, I'll play another call.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, I just wanted to point out the current betting favorite from what I at least saw today was the New Orleans Saints want Shedeur Sanders. I feel like if we could get a trade with a quarterback needy team, maybe like the Steelers, the first one up, or like the Rams.
Oh, with that?
Or maybe
That's
the
an
Seahawks
interesting
and a
concept.
shocker. If we could trade down with one of those, it would screw over the Saints with trying to get a quarterback that they desperately need because Derek Carr is clearly not the answer for them. And we could get a nice little haul in return. I feel like some good trade down candidates, Walter Nolan from Ole Miss or maybe Mike Green from Marshall.
Who we also met with.
Both of those have character concerns, what I've learned, but both of them are dogs, in my opinion. And I feel like we have a good culture to shape if any potential character concerns out of them. But yeah, I feel like if we could screw over New Orleans, I'd be happy trading back to 32 if we could do that. Screw them out as a quarterback. Like, sign me up for that.
No, that would be awesome. A great call. So, Tony, you mentioned there that a lot of reports are that the Saints could and would take a quarterback. So the idea is that if we were the ones to trade back, we're stopping New Orleans from being the ones to get their quarterback.
I tell you this, I do not want Shedeur Sanders in New Orleans. And it's not because it's New Orleans, number one, number two, the Flash. Imagine getting beat by the Flash. The pizzazz. I don't want to be pizzazzed to death.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? I don't want fucking somebody to bedazzle their fucking jersey and then beat my ass. That's why I don't want.
Is that not the most Panthers thing ever, though?
What, to get beat by a bedazzled Saint?
No, to have some player that's kind of off the radar go to a team in division.
No, I don't want the Saints to benefit.
So this is Manobu. His name is Armand Manobu. And he's the right tackle right here. Dude, look how mean this dude is. Look. Get your bitch ass on field.
Yeah.
Just serving up international.
Right. I'll pick him at 8. I'll pick that guy at 8 right now.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. That's Swenson right there.
See, I'll pick that dude at 8. I'm sorry. You guys are all sleeping on that shit.
No, I did say on the free for all that if that dude's the replacement for Taylor Moton, yeah, man, sign me up. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, Manobu. Yeah, they have him. Some people have him as the highest offensive tackle in this draft. Some people saying he will be gone before the 8th overall pick. Some have him to the Jets. I've even seen him to the Jaguars. So yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, don't mark me down, folks. Look, I think you should pick a defensive lineman and an offensive lineman in the first round every other draft, basically.
All right.
Like, that would be, if I was a GM, I would just be like, this year we're picking defensive lineman. Next year we're picking offensive lineman. Let's go.
2 more calls.
Yo, my C3 family. D, Sanford, North Carolina, a.k.a. D-Money in the building. Shout out to that great Tony Dunn. To the homie, little bro Cody Lack. To CK Cole Dissel. Shut the hell up, Papa Pickle. My brothers from another mother, Cole, and the great Deal Skills, Jake, the whole Legion. So, the whole thing of staying at 8, trading back, I mean, if they believe in Jalen Walker and he's available, take him at 8. If it's the Mason Graham they believe in and he drops to 8, you go get him. If it's anybody that's great in that upper echelon of those early picks, drop down, and they're impact guys, you take them. If that's not the case, or they're not 100% sold on the idea of Jalen Walker or who's there at that time,
back it up and dump it.
Go ahead and trade back. But my thing is don't trade back just to trade back. Make sure all the compensation makes sense that goes into line. If it's future capital next year, if it's an additional pick this year, just make sure that it falls in a line to what we really and truly need to do. I was on Spaces earlier with those great guys in the Legion. I'm telling you, if you're not on X dealing with the great diesel skills and Panther Pickle and the Legion guys, you don't know what you're missing. But I was talking to them earlier, and I just feel like we're in a position that really we can't go wrong, because I felt like from what we did last year, we picked pretty well, except for the hindsight 2020 situations. And it gives me faith that we're going to make the right picks and make the right moves. And I feel that way till shown different. And the main thing that I do know and the main thing that I do love is the fact that we're going to get some dogs, whoever it is. Let's get ready, because let's open them kennel doors. Let's get the dog food, the Alpo, all of it, the diamond dog food, so we can treat these puppies with tender love and care so they can bite and just gnaw on the competition. I love every single one of you. Pounding. And if you ain't with us now, hey, welcome to the parade.
Let's go, Tony.
I mean, I think he's right. You get a dog. We don't want a dog. We want a wolf.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, but
get it. If it's there, grab it. If not, get somebody who's a pup that's going to grow into be a dog. But don't pick a pup in the top 15.
That's the truth. All right, final call of the night.
Hey guys, it's Chuck from Elizabeth City. I just kind of wanted to give y'all a little heads up. I know draft night you guys are going to be busy, and I'd love to join you, but I have been chosen. Being that I am in Elizabeth City, and you know, if you know anything about that part of the state, which Tony, I know you do, we're only about 30 minutes from the Virginia line, and I'm kind of stuck up in the Virginia Beach, Norfolk area, and that's kind of Washington area. But, to say the least, they're having a 94.1, which is an FM station in Norfolk. They're having a draft. Every one person, one fan is chosen by every team to represent them on draft night. Get to go on stage on the radio at this country bar and get to make our pick, what we think. And yours truly has been chosen to represent the Carolina Panthers.
Let's go.
Video, bro.
I'm going to be there in my Panther gear.
Play it on the show.
And I'm definitely going to make my pick, and I'm going to be there representing our team. And I just want to let you guys know that I'll still be with you in heart and soul and spirit, although I will be kind of doing my own thing that night. So
we're going to play. We got to play this.
I kind of hope we trade down and get some more draft capital, but we'll see.
Same. Shout out Chuck. Chuck, you're the man, brother. And definitely send us that video, and we will happily play it here on the podcast, man.
I know. We're playing. Maybe we could play it on the draft night show.
Yeah, dude, that would be insane. Would love it, man. Hey, dude, shout out to Al. Al Ford says, with the 999C3 bomb, says Warren would give the offense physicality and elite position talent and OL help. Would help Rico and Chuba. We don't need Walker or Graham. We can definitely draft a defensive stud from the depth of pass rushers later in the draft. Thank you to Al Ford. A lot of people think that way, Tony. Yeah, I would. You know, this was me a few weeks ago. I mean, I was kind of guy. Well, yeah, that's Tyler Warren, the tight end.
Yeah.
Now, you know, Tony, I know you say these tight ends don't work out, and generally they don't. And the reason why in the first round, at least, is because a lot of them are these ex tight ends.
Yeah, they're
so
reaching.
they're receiving tight ends, and when it's time to block and be useful on the line of scrimmage, they're in over their head. They don't know what they're doing. I was surprised with Jatavion Sanders last year, how advanced he was as a run blocker his rookie season. So
he's a giant.
Yeah, but he's also
as blocker, and you're 6'6".
But that's the same thing with Tyler Warren. The dude is mean and aggressive,
and he's a real tight end.
The dirt. Yeah, he's a real tight end.
True.
Real tight end. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't had that in how long, fellas?
Since Greg Olsen, man.
I am not a guy that bends from that usually, but I would say this is I've gotten away from the jack of all trades type player, and I want a guy that I know what he does all day, every day. Did you know that Frank Reich is back in football? Andrew Luck. Don't forget, it was Andrew Luck who is the athletics director for Stanford, also former Colts quarterback, hired his head coach and I think at one point quarterback coach or offensive coordinator. Frank Reich is going to be interim head coach for Stanford in 2025.
Why would they announce an interim head coach though?
Because they haven't hired a full head coach.
Yeah, but why not? Like, why hire an interim coach?
Like 1 year, we're going to do the search the real way instead of just rushing like everybody does that picks the first shiny thing they can see, overpays it. I don't know if this is great, Frank Reich, for college football, but I don't think being an interim saying, look, we need you for a year while we do our search is a bad concept.
Yeah. All right. Shout out to Frank and kudos to him. This is what you added earlier, Tony. We already talked about it a little bit about Xavier Legette and how Dave Canales pretty much gave him his endorsement. Talks about how much he's been training in the offseason and how they still believe him to be a number one wide receiver and that they're not done developing Xavier Legette. And listen, they traded up into the first round last year to draft him. So this isn't surprising that they still have this incredible belief in him. And I'm happy that Dave Canales is doubling down on building up his players rather than doing the fan thing of, we have to play someone. Yeah.
And CK, can you not see that he is looking at XL like homeboy from the Seahawks? What's the big guy?
DK Metcalf.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're looking at here. What is his most insane Les Kuhn?
No, okay, so he
which I hate saying that, by the way.
Have you not heard this? Did you hear that he put out his own recipe?
Look, I love this slide of the silly ass.
Yeah, you know your boy knows how to make them. But Xavier Legette, again, dude, it seems like every other week he's going viral for just being the most country football player to ever live, right? Riding horseback, talking about eating a squirrel, but he also shared how to prepare a raccoon, in case you needed to know this.
I don't, but
hey man, don't knock it till you try it, brother. That's all I'm saying.
It's probably greasy.
I want a perfect raccoon meal. Take me from start to finish. What I gotta do?
Right. First, you need to go in the woods. You gotta have some coon dogs that's trained to go. Once you pass that, boy, you just skin them. You cut a hole about the size of your pinky down behind the back of his head. Pull a dang on, what can I say? A leg sleeve on the leg. Just like that. And once you do that, man, you just cut a hole right across the chest. Just take your 2 fingers, pull the guts and everything out of them, strip them out, and then wash them out, put them in a pressure cooker.
Look at that guy's feet.
After that,
face.
it's gonna be like chocolate meat. After that, man, you just put some curry peppers on. We got our little own thing of seasoning that we mix up, man. We can't give y'all everything now.
I was about to say, what type of seasoning we put?
Man, it's a little bit of everything, man. But you got to put some spices on it, some herb, and then that'll be the way to make the best color.
Dalton rolling, throwing on the run, touchdown. Xavier Legette.
So there you have it, man. Xavier Legette tells you how to prepare some good old raccoon. And Tony, I heard what you said. Look, if you're in the deep South, like if you're from the South, right, anywhere from Florida to Louisiana to Georgia, the word coon, as long as I'm growing up, has always meant raccoon. And whenever he talks about preparing raccoon, bro, my father used to hang around people who talked about eating raccoons and squirrels and deer and all types of shit, man. He really has that good old country boy soul. And I love him, dude. I know that not everyone is jumping out to eat raccoon and squirrels, but this dude is authentic as they come. He's not some diva wide receiver. And that's also what pisses me off, the fact that so many Panther fans have made it a point to shit all over him just for having a couple of drops last year. Dude, the dude has a heart of gold. He's a hard worker. Dude, I love some XL, dude. I think he's incredible. And I'm loving the vibes, man. And I think we've yet to see the best of what he's capable of doing.
I can't stop sneezing. I've been trying to mute it. Holy goodness. There's probably a difference between coon and squirrel. One's greasy and one, but hey, look, the mug is not fronting. He knows how to prepare. He knows how to not prepare, how to dress it. No, I'm all in. I'm all in. Oh, look, here comes the sneeze again. I'm all in on XL. Cody, are we please tell me we're out of call.
We're done, dude. We're done. Let's fucking
all right, let's ice some fools up. You're listening to the longest running Panthers podcast on the internet or just everywhere. And you know what? Maybe I'm making that claim.
Hey guys.
Yeah, we did hear that. I wanted to make sure that it wasn't another one that I got. So
I know we're the longest running on the internet consistently. And I want to someone prove me wrong anywhere else that someone done it longer and more consistently than us. Nope. And you know what? I don't need no kudos. You can ice me up for saying this, that I get up here every Tuesday night. I took last Tuesday night because I'm trying to buy a house. I have my homeboys cover me. I'm trying to sell a house. Yeah, stressful. Now we're going to go to the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. It's the ice up segment. It's where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, get it together. Everyone's fair game. 15-year-olds in Oklahoma that we don't know. Politics. I don't care where you go, folks. Let's ice some fools up.
Ice up.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's our time to ice up someone, tell them to get it together. It's an homage to Steve Smith. We've even iced up him in this podcast. Ooh. Crush. Guys, what do you got for me tonight?
Go first. I have to grab mine.
All right. Well, CK, do you got something? Because I will go if you don't.
Go ahead.
You never have one. You ready?
No, go ahead.
Well, I would just say my ice up is to selling a house.
Yes.
To selling your house, under the best circumstances, it has to be stressful. B, under the stressful circumstances of divorce and blah, 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 blah. It's more stressful. Timing is everything, right? I mean, not everything, but if you want to list your house, folks, for sale, you put it on the market in February, March, and you get that spring bump. But sometimes life does not allow you to do that. So you put your house up for sale in November or late October, November. And then you've got to go with this crazy life of keeping your house. And you know what? Of just keeping it like so impeccably clean at any moment. They can be like, do you want a showing tomorrow? They tell you they want that you get a 24-hour window. But if you're trying to sell your house and they'll be like, oh, we got a late show, like we got a late request. Can you do it in 4 hours? Right? So like you're always on pins and needles, keeping your shit, trying to keep it tight. I've got 3 kids and they're great kids too. They've worked hard in this process, but you got to keep the laundry done, everything. You're spraying, cleaning all the time. So for the last 6 months, my shit has been the worst time you can list your house, November. Who the hell wants to buy a house on Thanksgiving? Who the hell wants to buy a house around Christmas, right? And then shit keeps amping up. But even when you sell your house or supposedly sell your house, which under contract, it's so stressful. It could work. It can't work. It doesn't matter. The first time I ever bought a home, CK, the real estate agent told me this. He said, it's not done until the keys are in your house and keys are in your hand. That's what he told me. It's like, oh, I think we got it. Like, is everything right? Like, does every duck in order? It's like, and it feels like everything is there. But guess what? Until that money's in your pocket, it ain't there. So you know what?
It can have anything can go wrong.
Yeah, it could be anything. At one point, we had an offer on our home that was a good offer, and then we were about to take it, and the dude had a stroke. And God bless, I'm praying for that person. I've been praying for that person. Like, so I don't want to say like, oh, I'm sad my house didn't sell. This poor family, and the man had a stroke and all of these different things. But selling a house and buying a home at the same time, when there is all this uncertainty, I'm going to say ice up to that.
Yeah. Not a fun time. Anytime you have to do like contingency selling, like where, this sale is contingent on me selling my other house or, something along those lines. It's too many moving parts.
Being in my pocket.
Yeah. I mean, that's obviously a big part of it. Don't get me wrong, but yes, absolutely.
CK, you got one?
No, let's move on to you there, Cody.
So look, people who know me know that I'm a diehard Game of Thrones fan, A Song of Ice and Fire. The last book to come out in the series was 2011. And for those of you who don't know, the author, George R.R. Martin, has been notoriously dicking around for 15 years and has yet to give the next book in the series. But
He's Axl Rose. He's the Axl Rose of writers.
Dude, but how about what's even more embarrassing? That between the time of A Dance with Dragons and the book that's supposed to come out soon, A Dream of Spring, the fucking direwolf went from being extinct to being brought back to life. They literally genetically engineered 2 wolves with direwolf DNA and thereby made them into direwolves. We are living in the future, dude. George R.R. Martin, he even put out this, anytime he says that there's going to be some announcement to be made, everyone thinks, oh, he's announcing Dream of Spring. No, it's just more futuristic news about how genetic engineering is forever changing literally everything that we thought to be possible. The dire wolves are named Romulus and Remus. So this is the first time that dire wolves have howled in 10,000 years. So that's pretty cool. But hey, George, finish your fucking book, dude. I suck. Where the hell Tony go? I guess there is no Tony. All right. CK. That is it for another edition of the C3 Pan. Oh, Tony says laptop died. Yep, that about explains it. Well, that's another end to the C3 Panthers podcast. That was the professor. My name is Cody Lashley. That's Codizzle Allen. We will be back next Tuesday night at 9 and this Friday night at 7 p.m. for the C3 Friday Free for All. Boys, until next time, keep pounding.
Keep pounding.